Anime characters have seen a tremendous amount of betrayal from loved ones over the years, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the most heartbreaking, gut-wrenching, backstabbing betrayals ever put to screen. A betrayal hurts the most when it comes from someone we know and love, and all the characters on this list had a deep personal connection with the person who ultimately betrayed them. So, let's get into it! His entire childhood, My Hero Academia's Shoto Todoroki has only really had one friend, his mother. That's not entirely his fault. His abusive father, the number 2 hero Endeavor, who is a real number 2 if we're being honest, was quick to isolate him from the rest of his siblings and forced him to undergo intensive superhero training so he could one day become the greatest hero in the world. And Shoto certainly has the potential. Inheriting both his father's fire and his mother's ice powers, Shoto possesses a powerful half-cold, half-hot hybrid quirk that allows him to shoot fire from one side of his body and ice from the other. He's like a microwave and a human ice machine rolled into one person. Although his father was quite the hothead, literally, his mother wasn't afraid to show Todoroki the love and compassion he desperately needed in his life. Unfortunately, that didn't last very long. As time passed, his father's abuse started to warp his mother's mind. Cracking under the strain, Shoto's mother suddenly couldn't stand the sight of her own son, as it reminded her of her abusive husband, and she threw boiling water in young Shoto's face, scarring him permanently. The two reconciled years later, but that one act of betrayal left quite a mark on Shoto, both externally and internally. The love story between Kaname Oogie and Valletta Nu makes Code Geass like the Romeo and Juliet of the anime world, except with more humanoid war machines and betrayal. Belonging to two different sides of a brutal war, these characters have a natural predisposition to hate one another. After a major battle, Oogie discovers Valletta shot and left for dead, so he nurses her back to health only to find out that Valletta has amnesia and can't remember that she's supposed to hate Oogie. Getting to know her, Oogie can't bring himself to end his enemy, and against all odds, these two crazy kids fall in love. But what great love story doesn't come with a few hiccups? After being attacked by a group of Oogie's people, Valletta regains her memories and is disgusted that she was romantically involved with someone like Oogie. Unaware that she remembers everything, Oogie foolishly meets her in private and is surprised when she betrays him and shoots him in the stomach. She runs off with valuable information and leaves poor Oogie for dead. Thankfully, the two eventually end up back together, but now they're always going to have a lot of awkward silences at parties when the couple has to explain how they met each other. If it was prophesied that someone would end up sacrificing themselves for you, would you accept that fate? Or would you do anything you can to change destiny? That's the issue Arashi Kishu finds herself in when the lovable Sorata Arisugawa tells her he's destined to die for her in the anime X. Kind of a weird pickup line, but okay. At first, Arashi shrugs him off because, well, look at him. But over time, Arashi is won over by his goofy charm and backwards hat, and the two eventually fall in love. It makes the looming threat of his passing all the more pressing. So what option does Arashi have? To stop Sorata from dying for her, Arashi betrays the Dragons of Heavens and joins the bad guys because she figures, hey, if I'm evil, that dork Sorata won't sacrifice himself to save me. Problem solved. Only Arashi clearly never read Oedipus and learned about the danger of trying to avert prophecies. Her actions result in Sorata fulfilling his destiny and dying for the woman he loves when he decides to try and stop a spear with his chest, with less than stellar results. Arashi learned the hard way that fighting against destiny isn't always easy. You know the saying, kill one to save 1,000? No anime character believes in that motto more than Kiritsugu Emiya from Fate Zero. Burdened with an unwavering desire to win the Holy Grail War so he could wish to eviscerate evil from the world, he's willing to take out anybody and everybody in his path in order to accomplish that. But was he always willing to metaphorically break a few eggs to make a perfect omelet? A flashback episode late in the series tells us, absolutely. When Kiritsugu was a child, his village was destroyed by vampire hunting enforcers. One of those enforcers, Natalia, took him under her wing and became his surrogate mother. Over the years, the two battled evil together and became each other's family. After a mission goes wrong, Natalia finds herself piloting a plane loaded with demonic bees that turn people into ghouls. Just go with it. She asks for Kiritsugu's help in landing the aircraft. He says he'll help and emphasizes just how much of a family the two of them are, but then proceeds to blow up the plane from afar with a bazooka. He knew he couldn't risk Natalia landing the plane and unleashing evil onto the world, so without hesitation, he took out his surrogate mother. You'd think most betrayals are bad things that happen to good people, but what happens when an enemy makes a face turn and betrays another bad guy? You get a whole lot of awesomeness and fist pumping. Kill la Kill easily marketed itself as a fierce battle between Ryuko Matsui, a high school student searching for clues to her father's passing, and Satsuki Kiryuin, the feared student council president. As the series progressed, a new villain emerged from the wings: Satsuki's twisted mother, Ragyo. Even though Ragyo inflicted psychological and physical damage on Satsuki, you always got the feeling that two bad guys were on the same team. At a pivotal moment, Satsuki betrayed her mother and stabbed her through the back, renouncing Ragyo's evil ways and enacting her own plan to rebel against everything her mom stood for. Sure, Ragyo was a monster, but having your own daughter betray you must have hurt. Probably almost as much as having a sword thrust through your back. The entire anime pivots after this betrayal, with Ryuko and Satsuki teaming up against Ragyo and bringing peace to the world. So, you can't be too mad at this betrayal. Imagine if you set out on a rescue mission to save your former leader and friend from a horrible fate, only to have that person turn around and slaughter everyone that came to his aid. That's the mild way of explaining Berserk's shock ending. Throughout the course of the series, we watched the warrior Guts clash with his Band of Hawks leader Griffith, while growing close to fellow warrior Casca. Eventually, Guts leaves the group, but his decision causes Griffith to be captured and subjected to torture for over a year. Feeling responsible for his current situation, Guts and Casca mount a rescue to save Griffith. But things get really bad really fast. Upon finding their old leader, Griffith is just a husk of the man he once was. Unwittingly transporting the entire rescue party to the astral realm, Griffith is offered unlimited power by the four archdemons of the God Hand if he sacrifices his friends' lives. Although Guts tries to stop him, Griffith agrees. Things turn bloody as Griffith is reborn as the demon Femto. It's even worse when Femto does unspeakable things to Casca right in front of Guts, who has to cut off his own arm to stop his former friend. It's one of the biggest anime betrayals of all time, and definitely not for the faint of heart. It's the moment that broke the anime community's heart. Shao Tucker from Full Metal Alchemist had done the unthinkable, turning his own daughter Nina into a human chimera by transmuting her with their family dog Alexander. The twisted, heartbreaking betrayal from her own father stemmed from the mad scientist's desire to create a talking chimera to maintain his certification and research privileges. It showed the Elric brothers what happens when a scientific mind seeking knowledge is left unchecked, and definitely proved Shao Tucker should never, ever be allowed near schools or dog pounds ever again. The worst thing about it was the realization that he had done this before. His wife, who was said to have left the family 2 years prior, was actually Shao Tucker's first human-animal transmutation attempt, with equally horrifying results. Seems like this guy took the idea of sacrificing family for the sake of your work a little too seriously, and won't be in the running for Father of the Year anytime soon. The saddest part is that the Nina-Alexander hybrid was too simple-minded to realize what had happened. When the mysterious Scar showed up and killed Shao Tucker, the creature even mourned her father's death before Scar put Nina out of her misery forever. He didn't deserve your love, Nina! Be honest, who didn't tear up a little bit when Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus betrayed the Sailor Senshi to join Sailor Galaxia in the anime Sailor Moon? And also be honest, how many names starting with Sailor can you fit in just one sentence? Sure, Neptune and Uranus never fit in with the rest of the team, but we never expected them to betray Sailor Moon to join the enemy. It broke Sailor Moon's heart to see her friends join the dark side, and when she cries, we all cry. The real kicker of this situation is that this betrayal was all an elaborate ruse. Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus had their own plan to destroy Sailor Galaxia from the inside to stop the villain from collecting star seeds. Unfortunately, their gamble failed, and when they tried to turn against Sailor Galaxia, revealing they were good all along, Galaxia was just too powerful, and their risky plan cost them their lives. It's heartbreaking to watch the two soldiers fade away, but listening to Sailor Moon weep about not knowing her friends were actually trying to help makes the moment all the more devastating. It just goes to show you that when you risk it all to take your shot, you better not miss. Sometimes we refuse to believe the truth about the ones we love. This lesson could have gone a long way for Utena, the titular character of Revolutionary Girl Utena, who became so invested in saving the Rose Bride, Anthi, that she didn't realize betrayal was imminent. Let's back up. The whole series revolves around Utena's desire to become a truly noble prince and protect her friend Anthi, who as the Rose Bride is the possession of whoever the current champion at Otori Academy is. Having won the tournament that gives her possession of Anthi, Utena does her best to protect protect her from those who want Anthi for themselves. Utena and Anthi develop a friendship that slowly turns into something more. Their bond is seemingly unbreakable, and they all live happily ever after, right? Wrong. Anthi's evil brother with rockin' shoulder pads, Akio, arrives on the scene, looking to take Anthi for his own. As more and more secrets get revealed, like how Akio and Anthi are in an incestuous relationship and Anthi is actually a witch, Utena still refuses to believe the worst in Anthi, resulting in an ultimate betrayal when Anthi stabs Utena in the back. Maybe if she wasn't so blinded by honor and love, Utena could have avoided becoming a shish kebab. On the surface, the orphanage Emma and her friends live in seems normal enough. There's plenty of kids to hang out with, there's a big open yard to play games in, they have a loving mom who takes care of them, they're forced to take weird tests to see how smart they are, they have numbers tattooed on their necks, and kids who are adopted are never seen again. Wait a second, that sounds terrible. In the Promised Neverland, a group of orphans slowly learn the orphanage they live in is more of a farm where the kids are raised like cattle to be sold as food to hideous demons living in the outside world. For 12 years, Emma was unsuspecting of her fate. She thought she lived a good life and that Mom loved them all and took care of them. It shakes Emma to her core to discover that Mom has been lying to them their whole lives. Finding out you were betrayed by the woman who raised you would be enough to shatter most young adults. But Emma and her friends are incredibly strong. Instead of crumbling, they quickly work to turn the tide on Mom and enter in an intense battle of wits in order to stay alive and not become demon chow. Did you ever have a best friend that you had to watch get everything they ever wanted while your life seemed to implode and get sucked into a never-ending black hole of despair? Would that fill you with enough rage to betray that best friend? In Fushigi Yugi, best friends Miyaka and Yui are sucked into a book at their local library and transported to a magical land. This is why you shouldn't read books and should watch CBR videos instead. While Miyaka has a series of grand adventures and eventually meets the love interest named Tamahome, Yui has an undoubtedly less awesome time. She gets trapped in the book while trying to help Miyaka and is eventually captured by bandits. She's led to believe some truly horrendous stuff happened to her when she was knocked unconscious, and when she awakens, she's manipulated into thinking Miyaka is the cause of all her misfortune. She betrays Miyaka and swears to make her pay for all the harm that befell her, even going as far as attempting to steal Tamahome away so Miyaka would never be happy. It's definitely a rough patch in their friendship that the two eventually work through, but not without a cost. If you're not questioning who around you is secretly a man-eating titan in disguise, then obviously you're not watching Attack on Titan. And if you're not, you're missing out on some absolutely brutal betrayals. Sure, the Rainer and Bertold betrayal in Season 2 gets a lot of the spotlight, but a far more heartbreaking betrayal happened in the first season, when it was first revealed that one of the main characters was a titan in disguise. You know, besides Eren. The clues to Annie's identity were teased for a while, but they were hard to believe. Sure, Annie was a little cold and distant to the rest of the squad, but could that really mean she was actually a titan in disguise? The answer was sadly yes. An elaborate trap was set in motion with Armin leading Eren, Mikasa, and Annie to an underground tunnel where other soldiers were ready to capture Annie to find out the truth. But when Annie sees through the trap and refuses to descend into the tunnel, Armin has no choice but to reveal his suspicions about her and begs her to prove them all wrong. That strategy didn't work out too well, as Annie uses her spike ring to transform and confirm what they all feared. In the 7 billion episodes of Naruto currently available, one of the biggest acts of betrayal in the whole show happens when Itachi goes ahead and takes out practically the entire Uchiha clan, minus his brother Sasuke. He's out for revenge on his brother for his betrayal, but doesn't realize that it was all part of a greater plan. As it's later revealed, the Uchiha were on a path of total destruction by planning a coup d'etat against Konoha that would have ultimately failed and gotten them killed. Danzo, a Konoha elder, gave Itachi an unimaginable option. He could either let the clan enact their doomed rebellion, which would result in everyone losing their lives, or he could wipe out the Uchiha clan himself and spare his brother's life. Knowing there was no other way to save his brother, Itachi went through and killed everyone. So remember anybody, the best way to solve your problems is by burning everything down, so there's no trace of that problem left. It seemed to work for Itachi just fine, you know, except for the whole brother turning evil thing. In the Rocky meets Rock'em Sock'em Robots anime Megalobox, a street fighter named Joe enters a boxing tournament where fighters wear enhanced robot gear to beat the snot out of one another for our amusement. Joe, soon known as Gearless Joe for not wearing any gear while in the ring, previously made a living by throwing fights in underground matches with his coach, Nanbu. But now he's ready to prove himself as an actual fighter. As the two progress in the tournament, Joe's shocked to find out Nanbu has made a deal with a gangster named Fumiaki, that Joe would throw an important fight to settle a debt the two owe. Is it surprising that the eye patch wearing Nanbu would agree to throw a match to earn some cash? Not to the audience, as it's clear what type of person Nanbu is, but to Joe, the news is devastating. Things don't stay bad for long though. In a sudden change of heart, Nanbu encourages Joe to keep fighting at a critical moment and not give up. Nanbu then offers Fumiaki his other eye to settle all their debts, and proceeds to cut it out himself. Fumiaki agrees to this, and Joe and the now blind Nanbu continue on their path to victory. Does it count as a betrayal if you betrayed someone first? That's the question at the heart of the infamous School Days anime. It's difficult to find a lot of nice things to say about this anime, but it just might be the best worst anime out there. The anime starts off well-intentioned enough. High school student Makoto has a crush on the shy Katanoha Katsura and enlists the help of new friend Sakai to help him get a date with her, and afterwards to be a better boyfriend. Though things get dark in these boyfriend practice sessions, Makoto and Sakai become romantically involved and hide their affair from Katanoha. Things get convoluted and messy as the series goes on, but in the end, Sakai gets pregnant and Makoto moves in with her. The thing is, Makoto just can't keep it in his dang pants. He betrays Sakai and gets back together with Katanoha, telling Sakai to move out and get rid of the baby. Consumed by rage, Sakai ends up using a kitchen knife to take out Makoto, and then flees. After everything he did in the anime, it's hard not to say Makoto had it coming. And that was just a taste of some of the most brutal anime betrayals of all time. But what are some of your favorites? Are there any we might have missed? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to CBR for more anime videos. Thanks for watching.